thought I could see y'all. And if these lights is off, oh, it does work. Okay. Yeah. Maybe I'll move this down one. Kim Anderson, good to see you. Thanks for dropping by with me. Try that instead. I guess the way this camera works is, if it's in the sun, then the lighting comes. Margie's the bell. Hey, good to see you. Will Dickens. Glad you're dropping in. It's Saturday morning. Seems like I can't rest from the work right now because I'm not gonna have nobody aborting this baby. The birthing of these the Morse American Consulate and Consular course Article 3. I'm not having nobody that's coming against this work. Peace to you, Elisa Knox. Be aborting this baby. So this is why I'm combating the naysayers today. The title of this video, the reason why I put that is because they manipulated the calendars, right? So if you are born on a certain date, you think based on your specific birthday that you're associated with the specific zodiac sign. And then you're going in and you're doing all this information and thinking that's attributed to you. But since they manipulated the calendars, we are identifying with the wrong zodiac sign. So in order to truly find your real zodiac sign, you got to go back to the original calendars. You got to trace back the original calendars, and then based on that trace back, then you will know what true zodiac sign that you fall under. Sarcy Bay, good to see you. Now, we already combated the naysayers. Anybody that you deal with that still wants to be associated with the system, the de facto system, they COINTEL. Don't even listen to them. Because we're going to have our own computer systems, our own schools, our own everything. Good to see you, Michael. August 24th. No, you're probably not a Virgo. You're probably the one after that or the one right before that. You have to source the calendar, the original calendar, not the manipulated one that these Romans done threw up in our mix. There's a Moorish calendar, and right now I think we're in the year 1430. Grand rising to you, El Rose rising. And thank you for hitting me up about the naysayers so we could block them. Everybody, y'all see anybody putting any negative comments, stirring up mess. There's a scripture that say, be careful of the dissensions, the ones that cause dissension. Y'all block them. Every last one of y'all block them. This way they can't be on our page sourcing the information, trying to cause confusion and put doubt in the hearts of the people. Manipulation of the calendar. We identifying 1439. I appreciate you. That's right. We're identifying with the wrong zodiac sign, and then we're going in and we're thinking that this is the zodiac sign we're under based on the manipulated Roman calendar, and then we're treating to those specific things. It is a big distraction, yes. So make sure you try to source the real calendar and then look for your birth date under the real calendar and then find the real zodiac sign that you associated with. I found out I'm an Aquarius. I'm not a Capricorn, I'm an Aquarius. And in the Aquarius age, Mother Earth is purging the earth from anything that hurts her. She is getting rid of it in this Aquarius age. So we're good. That's why I've been on this cleaning these dirty glass moors up and cleaning these temples up. Because they hurting the earth. They hurt Mother Earth. This is, y'all don't have to stay with me the whole time, but this is a good 10 pages. Y'all come back when you're ready and do whatever you need to do in the meantime. But they're not going to do the work that I'm doing. Because they don't have it in them. It wasn't given to them to do. That's why. It wasn't given to them to do. And you know what? At the end of the day, me doing this work, this is impossible. How is someone who's doing no work commenting on people that are doing the work? Please tell me. How can they even say anything about someone doing the work when they ain't doing nothing? When they're not doing anything but talking running their mouth. All right, prologue, restoration of Consular Court. Moorish Americans, descendants of the ancient Moabites and rightful heirs of the North Gate. In our reviewing of the contemporary histories of the Moorish nation and of the present negative condition imposed upon the earth and in the world generally, we conscientiously respond to the pressing need to reconsider the varied, negating and untoward conditions existing. Much of the din and many of these ruinous orders are due to perverse European colonial occupation via their descendant Inquisition operations rooted in U.S. demo corporate succession. With selfishness, with greed, and with unbridled force, the deceptive priesthood, bishopric, and personators of benevolence have weaved their pathogenic administrating agendas, mirroring their forefathers, Romans, self-assigned unum sanctum hegemony practices. Now, I'm going to let y'all know, even though y'all hear me reading, I really don't know how to read correctly. One, I only know my four parts of speech. Two, I still haven't completed the 8th grade exam. Are you smarter than an 8th grader? That was given to 8th graders about 100 years ago. I still haven't completed that yet, but I'm getting. Chrissy Biles, I don't know. That might be a computer issue. Can I get some thumbs up? And the ones that could see the video and hear it correctly, let me know that it's doing what it's supposed to do. We're posting it. All the videos we're downloading, and we're Islam Ishmael, good to see you. We're downloading them, we're editing them, and we're gonna send you the files and the videos as we progress in this particular process. We don't want to be associated with the corporation anymore. We got our own records. That's our family members. We got our own buildings. We got our own land. We got our own technology systems that we're working on right now. The Moorish American Consulate is working on right now. They're about to get removed anyway. Didn't y'all just see? It's like 60 U.S. United States Service Corporation consulates were shut down and closed in Russia. Well, that's 60 Moorish American consulates that's finna be on their way. Right over there. I'll be encouraged. Moving to and fro across the earth, the Romans have forced their bullet propagations by way of missionaries, mercenaries, and militaries, and deemed to secure their professed hypothecations with vain explications. Upon these social and political platforms and fictitious constructs, the parasitic Roman oligarchs have declared themselves as God. Oh, that's what I'm talking about, Chauncey. Yeah, we got to look. We are self-governing as a people now. They want to stay associated with, it's called necromancy. You're sleeping with a dead thing. You're intimate with a dead thing, the corpse. They want to keep doing that. They go ahead. And guess what? Since they sleeping with a dead thing, they ain't going to be producing no fruit. So, they bad. True. With relentless fervor, the disingenuous among the Romans, Europeans, have perpetuated their foul inquisition, conquest, intentions against the earth and against the human family. In our quest for resolution and remedy, we must keep in mind our cultural knowledge of and about the higher self and of the lower self. Being more scientists in the Northwest, we must also remember truth in accord with nature and not forget the divine law rule of cause and effect. We must strive to keep our passions within the bounds of righteousness. Nevertheless, and by virtue of the conflicting intersocial and international realities of human society, we Moors of the Northwest are also by descendant agreement in treaty relations with the Roman descendants, designated as Europeans of the Albion stock. Now listen, what we just said was that we Moors hold on, are in treaty relations. So right now, the Moorish Divine National Movement, the Order of the Great Seal, the highest players of the game right now, to which the Moorish American Consulate are associated with, are treating with the Romans concerning their behaviors in El Morocco. There's only 3 things that happen to these people if they don't get their act straight. Honoring the Treaty of Peace and Friendship and enforcing the Constitution. 10 years in prison, killed. Murder is with malicious intent. Killed is you just got to die. And or deportation. That's the only choices. Back to Guam or wherever the United States Service Corporation is stationed in. That's it. Once they move their hand and they treat with them, if they don't get their act right, they can see the Libra codes. Because we as Moorish Americans have the right to bear arms and also to protect and defend our blood, our bloodline, our family. It ain't no more somebody stomping your family members out and you taking camera phone pictures and posting it on the internet and then trying to go fight for some justice you ain't never gonna get. That's not gonna happen no more. What's gonna happen is if you touch my daughter, if you touch my son, if you murder my 22-year-old son just a minute ago, that just happened last week. If you murder my 22-year-old son, guess what? You finna get death sentence. Hey, it is what it is. Because understand this. These aren't human beings. These are genetically modified organisms. These are they've merged with artificial intelligence. Some of these people, they're not human. They have robotic chips in them. They don't have morality. So it's nothing to shoot your child in the back. It's nothing to them. It makes them feel no type of way. They have no remorse to murder a human being and just go sleep at night. Some of them are not human. They're something else. And look, they got to go. Look. But I'm sorry. But I ain't gonna spend another 100 years watching my people get murdered without doing something about it. I'm not gonna spend another 100, 200 years praying to whoever. No soul, that's correct. Praying to whoever about taking action when I have all wherewithal and will to take action myself. I bet you they stop murdering our children if some of their people start getting whacked. And that's why we have 6 million perfected assassins right now combating everything that's going on here in Morocco. Animals, yes. We Moors of the Northwest are also by descendant agreement in treaty relations with the Roman descendants, designated as European of the Albion stock. And these days we are dealing with an occupational and criminal body. Politic of the European via their descendants who have been and are operating in belligerent breach of treaty, and who are practicing such things which are repulsive to and contrary to the treaty and odious to the organic constitution. Observing these breaches and foul oppositions, we move to view and to review our contemporary social and political conditions and activities with logistical cognizance. Noting primal issues, we shall make focused deliberations and make reflections upon the past, and so we address the present. Now, this is what we have to understand. Not all Albions and Europeans are evil. Not all Albions and Europeans and those from that stock are against the Moors. Some of them honor the treaty. Some of them love Moors and Moors love them. So we can't take a hatred or a spiritual loathing to all Europeans everywhere. That's unjust. That's unrighteous. Okay, you take every person and you meet them where they're at. Based on where you meet them, that's how you treat them. That's where you treat them. So don't let these dirty glass Moors and these Moors who have hatred in their heart, not standing on the 5 pillars of light, don't let them make you curse all Albions. Because quiet is kept. The Pope Francis, I don't know if he got Albion blood or not, but the Vatican or whatever, if you read the Motu Proprii and the Civil Order in 2014, that man destroyed them with that letter. And then he said, if 4 years ago, if they don't get their act straight, they're going to come disarm them, take away their weapons, and institute and initiate activation from the Grand Army Republic. Come on, man. So you know that some of the Europeans want to honor the treaty and keep it righteous in here in Morocco. And we for them if they for us. Consular court restoration. For everybody that keeps on saying, we don't need consular courts here in our communities or in this. This is the restoration. This is what we're showing everybody why it's a necessity to have organic republic court in Al Morocco, in the empire. This is why. This assignment is taken with the applied comprehension that the Moorish divine and national movement is Rotarian in purpose and complexion. Therefore, the Moorish movement is national and international in character. Also note that international law is by its nature congruent with common law. We, the descendants of the ancient Moabites, being the natural peoples of the land, are the true nationals, Al-Moroccans. And a firm number of us are seriously working towards stimulating our oft distracted people to study and seek to achieve a competent and functional level of consciousness in operative government structure. A competent consciousness, level of consciousness in what? Operative government structure. You think about it. Churches, synagogues, temples, mosques. Think about it. All over the land. 501s, corporations, schools, John D. Rockefeller Miseducation School. The only thing they do not teach permanently in consistency is government. Why? Because they don't want you governing the land. Oh, buddy. But we teaching government over here. Yeah. We teaching ownership, competency, heirship, and republic government. And knowing constitutionally limited parameters therein and why. Logically qualified participation in proper civic instruction is required with discipline needed to accommodate the restoration of the Consular of Courts. Think proper recognition of diversity at North America. Think proper recognition of diversity at North America. The record shows that the occupying Europeans have breached their obligations to the treaty and have abridged the organic constitution for the United States of America. However, their noted breaches do not leave us, the Moors, without our responsibility towards ourselves to the nation. We are obliged to restore philology and to repair as many faults as we are able to identify in relationship to the occupation. Damaging problems facing ourselves and our own miseducated peoples, the unfortunate reality still remains that we are nevertheless forced by the existing conditions to deal with the compound problems caused by European occupations of our peoples, and conditions to deal with compound occupation of our peoples and our lands. After all, the Romans are still occupying the North Gate, and despite whatever ideals or opinions held by any party involved, the consular court platform and venues are of no doubt needed. All existing judicial platforms and court venues that have been held as appearing legitimate courts on North American soils have been operating under a color of law. So, you name them. I'm not going to name them, because I'm tired of them attacking me. You name them. You look at every organization. You look at every single people out here professing to be for the Moor Empire. And you determine whether or not they are operating under the color of law. That could be 501c3s. That could be the temples. That could be churches. That could be synagogues. That could be schools. That could be anybody that has a corporation. All existing judicial platforms and court venues that have been held as appearing legitimate courts on North American soils have been operating under a color of law and under a color of authority. It's false authority. These are known misprision facts, particularly since the coup d'etat of 1861, which was feigned by Reconstruction historians as the Congress for the United States of America adjourned sine die 1861. This is what they did after they did the coup in 1861. Basically put to sleep the organic republic government. Then they did Congress. And Congress is basically a group of corporation members making policies and codes and then enforcing them as if they're laws. And charging the citizens, saying that these are laws we're breaking, but they're only codes of the corporations. Oh, you're wrong, Jack. You're done. You're up. Your jig is up. Your jig is up, buddy. Synody 1861. These same Reconstruction historians and scholars have always known and do presently know that the existing and demo-imposed judicial system operating at North America is based in fraud and with its membership operating in a deceptive state of impersonation. Who are they impersonating? The Moors. They're impersonating the government of the Moors, the corporations who got the 411 and they got the juice from the Moors on how to operate in government. All they did was make it into a corporation and pose themselves as government. Now we as a people, we have to start knowing the Constitution and enforcing the Constitution and knowing our governmental structure so we can begin operating in government, period. We are going to have our own courts. We are going to be the ones delegating authority. We're going to have our own. If the muftis would get their act together and start training on the mufti training, then we would be able to have these muftis in the courts to be able to do what we need to do. Why isn't there one mufti for every United States Service Corporation member posing as some type of authority? Why aren't muftis on the road right now doing exactly what the service corporations are supposedly doing? Please tell me. But they would be protecting and enforcing organic constitution. And you can have cordial relationship with these people. It could be muftis on the ground, and it could be United States service corporations in blue suits on the ground. And when any type of contention happens against the nationals of the land, the muftis will be right there, and the corporation members, and they'll talk and they'll treat. And then, you know, if we've injured them, we'll provide remedy. If they've injured us, they'll provide remedy. Reconstruction, members in this impersonation. Furthermore, all historians, scholars, and general education board teachers, administrators, and professors have always known that the misrepresented U.S. judicial system that operates on the land at North America is unconstitutional, is a foreign for-profit platform of a for-private European Barrister Association venue, etc. All such U.S. democracy pseudo-courts were then and are now extortion platforms and are de facto again. Ergo, a need for consular courts restoration. Contemporarily, 1956, an important and compound political action took place, initiated from the North Gate. Layered with those political actions, discussions and disputes was the relinquishment of consular court at the Northwest. On the one hand, the apparent implications of right of self-government. On the other hand, the apparent implications of right of self-government was restored to Moorish jurisdiction. Yet on the other hand, we see that European decolonization initiatives commanded by international law agreements were not actuated on the larger scale over the land of the Moors. The Europeans relinquished jurisdiction at the Moroccan Kingdom territory located at the northeastern coast of South Asia, Africa, but did not relinquish jurisdiction at Northwest Amexem, Northwest Africa, and North America. Hear it again. For all of y'all talking about this Moroccan Kingdom. They relinquished jurisdiction at the Moroccan Kingdom territory in South Asia. So y'all go source the Moroccan Kingdom. Y'all see that U.S. corporation ain't got no jurisdiction there. But here, they did not. Now, we are aware of many otherwise hidden and less publicly admitted political, economic, and social motivations as to why the German Dutch Dwight D. Eisenhower relinquished jurisdiction at some parcels of the Moroccan Empire, but with deception, not abandoned jurisdiction at the heartland. The North Gate is the heartland. Now, to maintain some clarity on the consular court's restoration subject matter at hand, let us present to the reader the definition of the word restore. Restore is derived from Old Morse Latin, restoror, means to renew, to rebuild, to alter, to give back, to return, to put back, to bring back into existence or use, to bring back into a former state of condition, and to put again in possession of something. What? The land, baby. Possession of the land. That's what we putting in possession of. Ooh, I'm feeling good right now, baby. Yeah, this energy popping right now. Woo-wee. Yeah, juris consult. This is the next paragraph. In our current Moorish affairs, we are addressing the important issue of assuring ourselves among qualified and qualified jurors. That's you. We're going to qualify you. We're going to vet you. We're going to make sure that you're a qualified jurisconsul. Then you're going to be in the Moorish American consulate, and you're going to be treating with the international community concerning what happens on your land. This is necessitated by the fact that many active Moors are coming back into the constitutional fold of government with the intent to enforce the de jure, established law of the land via the organic constitution. Therefore, qualified jurors are an obvious competent component to the social and political remedies, which have, by default, been absent from our communities. A juror is essentially a designation given to a woman or son who takes on an affirmative oath as an allegiance. Thus, in organized government and under the rule of established jurisprudence and law, a juror is a jurisconsult. A jurisconsult is one who has learned in international law and public law. So start getting y'all international and public law up. Therefore, jurisprudence, jurisprudent, jurisdiction, jurist, juristic, juridical, just gentium, and just sanguius, just soli, jural, justice, etc. are all related and included in the studies required of or relegated to a juror. Thereupon is an honorable juror trusted as a qualified consul, baby. Yeah. So y'all get this information, y'all start studying, and we're gonna, morning to you, Michelle, good to see you. We're going to, that's going to qualify you as a consul, as you're immersing yourself in the studies of jur everything. Yeah. Within the grammatical construct of the word jurisconsult, one can see the word consul. That foresaid allegiance of a juror or consul refers to the acts of one taking on devotion to ethical maxims, to established principles, to honorable causes, to loyalty, and to fidelity owed to one's kindred, nation, and government, etc. Given to reason, a juror is a member of a collective chosen body referred to as a jury. A jury is an agreed body of natural people who are by legal, qualified processes selected to examine and to inquire into any matter of fact, and to give or to present their just determinations or verdicts, according to the manifested evidence. Logically, one who is dealing with or assigned to address or to investigate such evidence by right should and must be ethical in his or her rational judgments. Whoa, come on with it. Yeah, baby. Ethics is the discipline that deals with what is good and bad and with moral duties and obligations. And so, in this instant, we are consciously working towards disciplining ourselves to take serious the individuals, the groups, and national obligations which hold by unbiased measure as primal to Moorish culture. So we are taking on the responsibilities of practicing and restoring, where absent, those moral and ethical principles of, hold on, love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice, baby. Woo, baby. This is how Prophet Noble Jew Ali did it. Captured 3/4 of the earth. That man lived in the principles of light for so long that he captured, for the Moroccan Empire, 3/4 of the earth back into our inheritance. Come on, y'all. European this. Hatred that. Chocolate like this. Ain't European. Getting it. Listen. If y'all don't get off of that hatred and start loving, you think when he walked into when he stood up and declared his nationality, do you think he said, "I hate you Europeans for all you did to my people"? Is that what he said? Is that an intelligent tone? Even though the prophets say speak to him in an intelligent tone, right? And go to those who know law, right? And see if we ain't right. Come on, man. That ain't no intelligent tone. Y'all better get y'all life together. Reflection. It is an established fact that philosophically and culturally, and in accord with Moorish culture, that reflection is the business of man. Since reflection is the business of man, let us reflect upon a poignant and awakening excerpt as taken from chapter 1 of the Holy Quran, circle 7, of the Moorish Holy Temple of Science, the Moorish Holy Temple of Science, Moorish Science Temple of America. This divine truth excerpt will assist us in keeping our focused perspectives in check and in synchronicity with reality and proven truths in regard to our human family developments and evolution. We can also look at and examine our conduct and tendencies from both abstract and physical views. These observatory methods can be achieved by the studied applications of ancient Moorish culture, sciences of astrology, and of alchemic associated knowledge with earth salts, silica, water, and phosphates, etc. More scientists know that these elements are used in the nature operations of the wombs, baby. Yeah, baby, we're in the womb, baby. That's what they said when the... Whoa, we're getting birth right now, baby. Consular Quartz is in the womb getting birth right now. I'm telling you. Y'all got to know. It makes me feel so good. It's refreshing, baby. Operations of the wombs of womb man, and designed by nature's God and nature's law, committed to build our physical bodies. From a matter of fact perspective, we can also make interrelational and component observations, or choose to take on a general logistical perspective for applying critical thinking. Recognizing that reflection from a philosophical view has always been a vital aspect of Moorish cosmology, religious culture, we shall not hesitate to exercise our sense to do so. Reflection may refer to a thought, to an opinion, to an ideal, or to a universal or general and principled maxim upon which we form or have formed conclusions. Such determinations have been, are, or can be achieved by way of earnest meditation or by rational thought. An excerpt taken from Circle 7, The Creation and Fall of Man, presents a cosmological maxim for our thoughtful and analytical regard. To clear up some confusion as we continue, your spiritual appellation, when you send the Moorish American Consulate your wardship names, it can be one of two things. Either it's divinely inspired to you, and that's your appellation, or your wardship names with the title of nobility. So you see a birth certificate and you say your lowercase, your name not in all caps, but your name, and then one of the titles of nobility. It still puts you back in alignment with your ancestral heritage. So, you know, when you're emailing us about, well, what should your appellation be? It is what's divinely inspired to you by way of meditation and research, or it is your regular name with a title of nobility. Now mine, I did my Akashic records. I found out I was from the Yoruba tribe. I love herbs and roots. I got my mortar and pestle in the house, and that's why my name is Asain. Asain is Yoruba herbal god, and they be consulting the Yoruba herbal god for healing. And I like healing, and I like healing people. I like to see the mind, the body, and the spirit healed. Because it felt so good when I got healed, baby. Yeah. That's what I'm talking about. All of them years of trials and tribulations and people betraying you and hurting you and breaking your heart and tripping out on you and treating you like you crazy when you know what you're talking about. You know it's the truth. And then years later, when you healed and they still walking around broke, busted, and disgusted, they come to you and they say, oh, you was right. Then you got the opportunity to heal them up and see them heal and be happy because they doing better in their life. Oh, you was right 10, 20, 30 years later. I told you. Look, don't be worrying about them persecuting you because they don't understand where you coming from. Don't try to convince them. They're asleep. They can't understand you. They'll never be able to understand you. They have to come into their own and then come back to you for you to be able to explain everything. They gonna treat you like you crazy, be running you up out of your house and running you up out of your environments, excommunicate you from the church. That's what they did to me. Thought I was crazy, excommunicated me from the church, treating me crazy. Okay, well, then they come back to me and say, oh, they still murdering our babies on the street. Oh, you was right, these chemtrails. Oh, I found this out. Oh yeah, I know, it's okay. I got your back. Because I was divinely prepared for a time such as this. Oh, baby, it was set for you. We were allowed to go through what we were allowed to go through for you. So you didn't have to go through it. Well, I hope you're listening so you don't. Holy Quran, Circle 7, The Creation and Fall of Man. Perfected man must pass through all the ways of life. And so a kernel was full manifest, a nature that sprang forth from fleshly things. Without a foe, a soldier never knows his strength. And thought must be developed by the exercise of strength. Who is your foe? Your ego. That's your foe. The perception of one's self. Let me tell you how. The ego only deals with one. You. Deceives you, makes you all scared to do everything, gives you a false reality. You can't even move forward because you think something will happen to you if you make a decision. It's the ego. It's deceptive. Deception of oneself. It paints a picture of reality that is false. Okay? When you destroy the ego, when it's gone and excommunicated from your mind, then you have the perception of one self, as in all the collective individuals and beings operating and loving each other as a collective body. Then you're not all selfish, and everything that you do ain't just for you. It's for everyone. It's for the world, uplifting fallen humanity. Woo, baby. Yeah, destroy that ego, baby. Get it out of you, please. Never knows his own strength. Without a foe, a soldier never knows his own strength, and thought must be developed by the exercise of strength. And so this carnal nature soon becomes a foe that man must fight, that he might be the strength of Allah made manifest. Let every living thing stand still and hear. Man is the Lord of all the plane of manifest, of protoplasm, of mineral, of plant, of beast. But he gave up his birthright just to gratify his lower self. But man will regain his lost estate and his heritage, but he must do it in a conflict that cannot be told in words. Yea, he must suffer trials and tribulations manifold. But let him know that cherubim and seraphim that rule the stations of the sun and spirit of the mighty Allah, who rule the solar stars, are his protector and his guide, and they will lead to victory. Man will fully be saved, redeemed, perfected by the things he suffers on the plane of flesh and on the plane of soul. When man has conquered carnal things, his garb of flesh will have then served its purpose well, and it will fall, will be no more. And it will fall. It will be no more. Then he will stand untrammeled. Ooh, come on, baby. Then he will stand untrammeled on the plane of soul, where he must full complete his victories. Unnumbered foes will stand before man upon the plane of soul. These he must overcome. Yea, overcome them everyone. Thus hope will ever be his beacon of light. There is no failure for the human soul, for Allah is leading on and the victory is sure. Man cannot die. The spirit man is one with Allah. And while Allah lives, man cannot die. When man has conquered every foe upon the plane of the soul, the seed will have full opened out. Will have unfolded in holy breath. The garb of the soul will then have served its purpose well. Ooh, come on, baby. And man will need it nevermore. And it will pass and be no more. And man will then attain unto the blessedness of perfectedness and at one with Allah. Ooh, I love it. Come on with it, baby. We're going to keep going. Septuagint. We on page 5. We got another 10 to go. They'll never work as hard as me. They'll never be able to work. Because while they sitting around telling people what's not needed, we doing it. If y'all knew how many places Charlemagne Bay has flown to, how many people he has treated with and talked to, how many people have probably tried to deceive him and use him up, how many people have he flown around the Al-Moroccan territory, if y'all knew, then y'all would understand. He doing the work. They the ones sitting in their house on a computer watching, trying to deceive the people and get you to not know a thing. They the ones trying to deceive. Hear this man on his smartphone telling somebody. Then you want to say, oh, go in the Black's Law Dictionary and see the definition of consular courts. But then you read the definition and that's the only part you read. And you say, oh, because it says it's in a foreign jurisdiction, well, we don't need it in our Moroccan territory. Wrong. Because you didn't read the Constitution, you didn't read the rest of the history that goes along with the needed restoration of the consular courts. You only read the one definition in the Black's Law Dictionary. And now you the authority on what is and what is not needed for an entire empire. Come on, baby. Septuagint Bible, the second coming. Don't get all up in ante about the holy, the scripts. This is Helio Biblos Sun Text. They're the Sun Book papers. They come from children of the sun. The children of the sun are our ancient parents, and they wrote the Holy Scriptures. Now, over time, people transliterated them and misused them and misappropriated them to spiritually deceive us. But at the end of the day, those ancient historical texts that were written by our ancestors deliver the soul just as much as the Holy Seven Quran, the regular Quran, any spiritual or holy text. There's millions of books out there concerning holy texts. I'm sitting on some right now. Sacred books. Here we go. I got y'all. These are the sacred books. They stole it when I did my travels. They stole some of my sacred books. But these is all religious texts. Different kings and queens of the earth that disciplined themselves to such a degree that they were given divine revelation to edify the soul. Another principle and foretold demonstration that in its nature deals with recognizing diverse consciousness and motives can be viewed from the negative conditions caused by demo exploitation and war mongering criminals who have perfected the art of deception. An excerpt from the Septuagint should be helpful. An anthropomorphic passage taken from the Septuagint and adopted to the Bible foretells present prophetic warnings about the Roman unum sanctum hegemony practices that now plague humanity in these days. The following is reflective of that demo paradigm. The astrological and ephemerides projection, known as prophecy, expresses what has been commonly called the second coming of the anointing. With the astrological return projection in mind, we shall recall and review the ancient Hermetic principle and phenomenon expressed in nature, as above, so below. With that being said, let us also apply critical thinking and attend to other oral statements made by our prophet, Noble Jew Ali. In the year 2000, Moors will come into their own. Prophet Noble Jew Ali. Moors, don't get rid of your Bibles because I'm going to use them to condemn this government. Prophet Noble Jew Ali. I am going to leave the European here long enough to teach you how to run government. Prophet Noble Jew Ali. Watch the newspapers and listen to the radio. I am going to make the Europeans tell the truth. Prophet Noble Jew Ali. Now, listen to this. He said he's going to leave the European here long enough to teach us how to run government. So does that mean when we learn how to run government that the European won't be here anymore? Okay. Just making sure. Second Thessalonians chapter 2, verse 1 through 12. Precludes the second coming. We beseech you, brethren, by the coming of our Lord Jesus, who is also known as Yeshua, the Christ, and are being gathered together unto him, not to be hastily shaken from your right mind, nor terrified, whether by spirits or by utterance, or by letter attributed to us, as though the day of the Lord were near at hand. Let no one deceive you in any way, for the day of the Lord will not come unless the apostasy comes first, and the man of sin is revealed, the son of perdition, who opposes and is exalted above all that is called God. Let's stop right there. All that is called God is Mother Earth in nature. That's all that is called God. So when you want to profess that you're greater than nature herself, greater than the cosmological principles that govern the planetary systems and stars, then you're professing yourself, then you're doing these chemtrails and hurting Mother Earth and putting all this stuff in the dirt and doing all of this evil to all the people. That's you professing yourself as God. The collective consciousness of the entire human race is an expression of God. So when you start hurting the expression of God, then the Most High Consciousness is going to be smacking you around. Woo! Or that is worship, so that he sits in the temple of God. Do you not remember that when I was still with you, I used to tell you these things? And now you know what restrains him, that he may be revealed in his proper time. For the mystery of iniquity is already at work, provided only that he who is at present restraining it does still restrain, until he's gotten out of the way. Then the wicked one will be revealed, when the Lord Yehoshua will slay with the breath of his mouth and will destroy with the brightness of his coming. Krishna, your conscious mind, the anointed mind, the justice, it's pure justice. When you speak the truth, that is the destroying with the brightness of his coming. Ooh, when your mind woken up, baby. Brightness of his coming. Page 5, 6, 7. Where'd I go? 6. And is coming. And according to the working of Satan with all power, Saturn, Satan is also known as Saturn. You're looking at planetary systems. The Bible is an astrological book. Okay? It deals with the stars and the planetary systems as well. And according with the working of Saturn, with all powers and signs and lying wonders, and with all wicked deception, to those who are perishing, for they have not received the love of truth, that they might be saved. So how are you saved? By receiving and loving the truth. Therefore God sends them a misleading influence, that they may believe falsehood, that all may be judged who have not believed the truth, but have preferred wickedness. What is the truth? But what's in your own soul, and spirit, and mind. Those who have not believed the truth, what are you talking about? The truth of another human being? Are we talking about those who have not believed the truth of someone else? Or are we talking about those who have not believed the truth of what's being communicated into our own spirits and souls and minds and bodies, being brought to our own atmospheres? You don't want to believe yourself? Then hey, that's what's going to happen to you. You're not crazy. I'm telling you. With nature's law attending to balance and with justice guiding our rationale and our judgments, we consider the Romans, European unum sanctum and doctrine of discovery policies, the self-assigned yet false Roman claims of authority were and are founded in theft, despotism, and deception, and have fouled the peace on earth. Their feudal methods and anti-humane forms of administrating government have disrupted the lives of many members of the human family. The current social, economic, and political toxins infecting society are indicative of the collective enforcement of their many Roman bullas. These alien edicts particularly infect and negatively affect the peace and harmony among the natural peoples of the land, the Asiatic nation. The noted discovery den, concocted with the accompanying lechery as imposed upon humanity by the dark-spirited council of priests, was born of the Romans' unjust hegemony practices. Oh, we getting deep. This is real meat. I wish y'all knew what this man is talking about right here concerning the experiments that they were doing, genetically modifying the humans to get to strengthen their genetic bloodline, their genetic code, so they didn't die out, which they're still doing today. You see how many Albion women right now are getting impregnated by Asiatic Moors? And they're saying the reason why is because they know their genetics are strong enough to be able to keep their preserve their lineage. It is a when the word comes to me, I'll tell you what genetically it means genetically. Recessive gene. That's what it is. Theirs is a recessive gene. An honest notation, at least two major and injurious constructs are presented for your critical analysis. One of these constructs has been the obvious, and anybody who has any historical information concerning everything we're talking about right now, post it in the comment section, baby. Everybody needs these truths. Woo! An honest notation of at least two major and injurious constructs are presented for your critical analysis. One of these constructs has been the obvious and blindly adopted passivity and tacit acquiescence tendencies evident among our misguided Moorish Americans, aboriginals. So, what's hurting us? Us. The first thing that's hurting us is we're being passive. The second thing that's hurting us is tacit acquiescence. That means that every time someone said something, we don't say nothing back if it's a lie. And that means we've agreed to whatever they're speaking as truth. Stop acquiescing. Another injurious construct has been a notable lack of knowledge among our people about our ancient Moabite, Canaanite, Moorish history. This state of affairs especially cripples our people when such primal histories are not properly conjoined with jurisprudence and with the definitely associated traditions and customs viewed and confirmed within the accepted equations. That loosely described and foresaid den and misprision born of Roman conquest operations has become a social and political norm, corrupting every aspect of life at North America. A lack of knowledge of or a denial of these historical, philosophical, and political facts does not relieve one from the effects of their realities and existence. Therefore, passivity among the natural peoples in relation to these matters constitutes minor to extreme social, political, and economic debilities. Peripheral to these known historical and political corrupts consigned by European colonists are other likened, identified, and putrid prima facie constructs. Their fouling nature is unfortunately exacerbated due to neglect, oriented inactions, and passivity among too many of the natural people, the Moors. Mix these social political toxins with the absence of knowledge among our natural people, and the result is dead culture. So we, our children, our people, our family, we're not taking the periodic table and salts and molecules and herbs and roots and mixing them and healing each other and growing and using the more science to heal the empire, technically speaking, most of our men Moors, these gangsters, these drug dealers, they're using their Moor science to make crack cocaine to sell to our communities. That's the scope and the limit of their Moor science. 3 chemicals, baking soda, and the other 2. I ain't gonna tell y'all, and some water. That's how far their Moor science goes. Come on, man. So if we took our Moor science and began applying it in our communities and applying it to teaching our children, and our children begin to learn it, and they're teaching their friends, then it'll spread like wildfire. But we don't want to have a relationship with our children. We don't want to talk to them. We don't want to have conversations with our children. We're too busy on the phone or watching the next TV show or listening to Sally and Sam tell you about their little story and what happened to them last night because they went and tricked off some money and got drunk and went and cheated on their husband or their wife somewhere. And then they feeling guilty, so they got to tell you what they did so they don't have to deal with the guilt. Come on, man. Stop listening to these people and have a relationship with your children. Talk to them. Ask them questions and make them ask you questions. Woo, baby, come on with it. I'm trying to find myself here. Dead culture. This is disquietingly evident due to the lack of knowledge about their or our archaic Moabite Moorish traditions and customs. One can easily deduce that there are obviously identifying sources of the rot and decay that has manifested within our occupied Al-Moroccan American society in these days. Much can be found wanting on both sides of the interfacing groups of people. Although it is clear that criminal exploitation and corrupt pseudo-government has much to do with the problems facing all of us, it is nevertheless a known and undeniable fact that much of this foresaid putridness, I can't even say that word, has root in passivity and naive acceptance on our own part, the Moors. The conjoined wars, historical, social, and politically associated matters concern the fall of the Moorish Empire is of primal interest for us all and must be viewed from all possible and rational cause and effect aspects for the sake of justice and for gratifying toward those principles which are ethical and right to do, to practice or to have done. We active Moors agreeably seek to actuate remedies, corrections, and resolutions. This is what the Moorish American Consulate is doing right now. Yes, we do have a website. We're almost finished with it. And no, we're not private. We're not going to be private group, nothing. The reason why is because the Al-Moroccan Empire is in the public. It is in the Republic. The Moorish American Consulate is in the Republic. We want the entire world to know we exist and see us and treat with us and deal with us. People, period. Private, I ain't saying nothing, Cerro Santos Domingo. I know that we have to protect the information and everything that's going on right now, but there's no stopping this movement. It is divinely inspired by Allah, and we don't want to be private anymore. We've been deceived into thinking that we need to hide in boxes in our square instead of standing on it. We've been deceived into thinking that we need to be enclosed in our little boxes or in our bodies or in our minds, and we can't express ourselves. The entire world needs to know. Every single last person. Yes. I'm tired of hiding. We need to be out on the land. All day, every day. Woo! Come on with it. Fall of the Red House, baby. I'm telling you what happened. Moorish American Consulate. Fall of the Red House. Consular Courts. Article 3. The year is 1492. In the designated timeline given and associated with the fall of the Moors' Red House, Alhambra, at Granada, Andalusia. Andalusia was later called Spain. The defeat of the Moors' palace was a major blow to the integrity of our allodial estate status, and that fall neutered the Moors' caliphates. capacities to maintain rulership over our own lands, estates, and hereditaments, not only at Granada, but also at Seville, and at other highly developed territories in Europe, once ruled by our Moorish foremothers and forefathers. The Asiatic world has since been beset with the extreme and inhumane Inquisition practices initiated by the feudal lords of Rome. Escheating estates, tortures, and other forms of extort has since been instituted and enforced with the same firmly and customarily associated with the destructive and negating demo works of the Roman familiars. Y'all want it again? I'm going to give it to you again, because we need it. The fall of the Red House, 1492. In the designated timeline given and associated with the fall of the Moors, Red House, Alhambra, at Granada, Andalusia. Andalusia was later called Spain. The defeat of the Moors Palace was a major blow to the integrity of our allodial estates. That's why we're trying to get you to put your estates in trust. And that fall neutered the Moorish Caliphate's capacity to maintain rulership over our own lands, estates, and hereditaments. Hereditaments is everything. Not only at Granada, but also at Seville and other highly developed territories in Europe, once ruled by the Moorish foremothers and forefathers. The Asiatic world has since been beset with extreme and inhumane Inquisition practices initiated by the feudal lords of Rome. Escheating estates, tortures, and other forms of extort have been initiated and enforced, with the same firmly and customarily associated with the destructive and negating demo works of the Roman familiars. You right, brother. We got blockchain technology right now in the works to protect this information in the Moors and the family members who have been submitting their information to us. Blockchain technology is impenetrable, and quantum computing, that's also they can't hack quantum computers. We on page 7. We got probably about 3 more to go. Stay with me, family. Share this, subscribe, do whatever you need to do to get the word out. Supporting inspiration from our prophet, Nabi. I am not just a prophet, I am also a general, Prophet Noble Joe Ali. When the Moors ruled Spain, we had street lights in Seville, Spain, 400 years before they had them anywhere else in Europe, Prophet Noble Joe Ali. The Moors once ruled the world, now get ready to rule it again. But this time, it's going to be done under love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice, Prophet Noble Joe Ali. The greatest weapon in the hands of our group today in America is our press. The truth will never be told about our disadvantaged minority by the general press of any country, whether that minority be racial, political, or religious. Unless we express ourselves through papers of our own, the truth about us will not be told. Our papers are our only hope of shoveling ourselves out from under the avalanche of lies that are annually let loose upon us. A strong free press is the best possible safeguard of the liberties in general promotion and defense against interests of a strong free people. So, every last person that's associated with the temple right now, why don't y'all go ask them to put a printing press in the temple and start disseminating throughout the entire Moor Empire information necessary to deliver our people. If the Moor Science Temple of America, if they refuse to put a the press in their temple, then they're co-op. That's just it. They don't want the information to get out. They don't want the people to be free. They want to stay committing adultery with the harlot, baby. That's what they want to do. They want to keep on getting stroked by the harlot. Come on, man. They better get out of here with that. Woo, baby. She gonna be dead in 1 hour. The harlot finna be dead in 1 hour. Come on with it. The coup d'etat of 1861. Y'all ready? The coup d'etat of March 27th, 1861 was a primal aspect of a serious and seditious act that were initiated to establish the private de facto yet publicly debilitating political platform now operating at North America post-1861. That unconstitutional platform is a privately owned and exclusive membership kingship oligarchy, which has publicly been called the U.S. democracy. The past has so much to do with the present, as we all know. Cause brings about a reason for effect, an action, a motive, a condition, or a combination, or any of all of the above stated responses or actions. So let us cut through the chase and present an update on our current Moorish affairs. Telling y'all what, when my president begin to say, declare your nationality, if you do nothing else, the Moorish Divine and National Movement and the highest principalities and powers of that particular movement, you have to listen to them. They've spent the last 50 years in this movement trying to do better for the Moor people, dealing with ridicule and hurt and pain and rejection, just because they trying to do what Prophet Noble Jew Ali did, was standing in the 5 pillars of light. That's it. Telling the truth. But fiat, greed, the love of money is the root of all corruption. Evil is corruption. So long as them temples, those peoples, those sheiks, those organizations, those websites could get your fiat, they cool with you. But as soon as you land your loyalty, soon as you land your abilities, your strengths, your time, your talent, and treasure to anybody else, then you wrong. And you crazy. And something wrong with you. And you need help. And things ain't the way they supposed to be now. And oh, you better watch out for you. Come on, man. Look. We Moors of the Northwest, in particular, have come to know and to experience the nefarious and toxic nature of the trust-breaching Europeans. Let me say something to you. I hear someone talking about Taj Tariq Bey, I'm a blast y'all every time. And the reason why, I'm going to tell you why. For 7 months straight, actually 6, I downloaded 155 videos of that man's teachings. And when I downloaded them in MP3, that's all I listened to. That man seasoned me. Then I got in contact with Shalimar Bey. He started teaching me different things. So don't tell me about nothing concerning that man and his 45 years of constant discipline and research so that we could have a better life. The Moor children and the Moor empire. And the men who are currently doing the work right now. Talking about Shalimar Bey's on Taj Tariq coattails. No, them men are working together to better the children of the Moor empire. To better everybody in the Moor empire. They're all working together. Dr. Naila Gilliam, she opened up her house and her doors. How much ridicule she has to be dealing from the people, from the COINTEL people talking about her. When she opened up her doors, that's a school in the making right there. So we don't have to deal with John D. Rockefeller anymore. That's a school in the making. You could download those videos and begin playing them to your peoples and your children. Which somebody just asked us that we have a curriculum, the Moorish American Consulate, a curriculum for children. We're getting ready to do some we're getting ready to get some socks with some fezzes on, baby, and start doing some curriculum for the babies about their history. I forgot what her name is. Lamb Chop. There we go. This ain't Lamb Chop. This ain't Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood, baby. This is the Moorish Empire, bringing us back into our heritage. My bad, y'all. Let me finish up. We Moors of the Northwest in particular have come to know and to experience the nefarious and toxic nature of the trust-breaching European feudal law impositions. Their artful and identity stealing impersonation practices and their colonial occupational exploitation, hypothecation, and vampirism impositions. We have also endured the unfortunate and yet prolific learning experience of being misgoverned and misdirected under European Roman unum sanctum policies and their secret treaty of Verona, subversions, and colonial occupation. A prime aspect of that said misprision and maladministration of government at Northwest had its empowerment rooted in the deviant and dishonorable United States 36th Congress coup d'etat of 1861. Woo, baby. We got team leads for every specific region. When you find out what region you're in, we'll connect you to the team leads. We have to get you consuls up to speed so you can be the new government. We're going to get this de facto government out of here, and we're going to run our empire in love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice. Y'all don't know. As a people, right now, there are talks, treaties, international communities are gathering together on behalf of the Moor people. If we don't get our act straight and they can't see us governing correctly, they ain't going to give us the baton. And the baton is help from the other international communities concerning decolonizing the Moroccan Empire. Come on with it, baby. Yeah. With the aim and intent of institutionalizing forced servitude, the coup was born. The questionable and rogue body of congressmen for the United States, in collusion with other European foreign interests, secretly plotted and did overthrow the Republic order of government, as was established and commanded by the organic Constitution for the United States of America. See Article IV, Section 4. See Article IV, Section 4. The outcome of the wayward Congress criminality resulted in the design negation of the liberties of the natural people and the establishment of what was come to be known as their private, though falsely deemed as public, U.S. democracy. That imposter and corrupt demo-political platform entity has, at its core purpose, the enforcement of color of authority and a multi-tiered format of private extortion agencies exercising a color of office. Period. Multifarious and anti-humane methods were weaved within its demo-structured operations and with the same deemed to enforce its owner's de facto posture thereafter by way of color of law. The demo platform was and is now imposed upon the natural peoples of the land under the guise of being legitimate government. A capstone and usurping manifest of this said demo misprision was sealed by secret via the corporate and rogue Congress for the United States with their colorable and de facto legislation called the Act of Congress, baby. Y'all getting the truth right now. February 2nd, 1871. This act was the culmination of the coup of March 27th, 1861. Wherein the former Congress for the United States concluded their private self-serving kingship oligarchy. Thereafter, a clear distinction was made, and must now be made, between that which is originally de jure, having been supplanted with what is now, which is de facto. Thus, the organic Constitution for the United States and its republic form of government were suppressed. Herein we can identify known diametric opposition. Thereafter, their private, for-profit human trafficking and Inquisition war operations, rooted in their U.S. democracy political platform, was promoted and institutionally proselytized via schools, by reconstructed literature, through churches, and by state-sponsored civic organizations. Black Lives Matter. These social, political, and economic misprisions include other very destabilizing and exploitative experiences were born of European occupation of Morocco, the extreme West, and should be viewed with intelligence, with insight, and with honesty. Reflecting upon these foresaid experiences should be accompanied with intentions, actions, and considerations that should appeal to the higher moral, ethical, and positive attributes and customs inculcated into government structures by which we Moors, descendants of the ancient Moabites, have been known capable of achieving and instituting for the betterment of humanity. Why and how? The true and revealed history of jurisprudence and governmental practices has shown throughout history of the Moors, without a doubt, a proven track record demonstrating the same. History, the Moors governing in El Morocco, in the earth governing the betterment of humanity. When the Moors were governing, humanity was better in and of itself. Ooh, come on, baby. We wake up every morning and we drive to the de facto corporation, and for $10 FRNs a day, for 15 FRNs, we work and then we go home. But we never went outside and tilled our land. We never sat those 8. That's 30% of your life. For your whole life. 33% of your life is wrapped up in serving a corporation who doesn't care about you. Come on, man. And then they're going to tell you, after enslaving you your whole life, that they're going to designate $775 out of what you work for the rest of the life until you die every month. What? How is that security social? How is that social security? How is that securing you socially? Giving you 775 FRN notes per month and you don't work 40 years for your money. Oh, it's okay. Yeah, I worked. I got this money and you get control of it and how to delegate it to me. Huh? What? Y'all need to go out there and till y'all land. If y'all really think y'all need day FRN notes that bad, then stay in those corporations and be that slave. Otherwise, come on and parlay over here to the Moroccan Empire and start learning about government and put your hand to the plow. And there's a scripture for that. It says, no one having put their hand to the plow looking back is fit for the kingdom of God. Woo, baby. Don't look back when you put your hand to the plow. Another excellent character building tool of philosophical instruction can be found within the study and application of the symbolic meaning of carpenter tools, as prescribed in chapter 5 of the Holy Quran, Circle 7. A candidate for juror will find this chapter very useful because the lessons imparted therein are harmonic with the desired character of a man or a woman who holds the position of counsel. In the course of human affairs, we may often refer to our desired intent of having people of good character to represent our interests. As far as government is concerned, we are aware of our own faults and shortcomings, and as a general rule of doing unto others as we would have them do unto us, we strive for maintaining good character in our intersocial affairs. Character in this instance, we refer to the positive and commendable traits that have been known to be practiced and maintained among peoples and cultures. We direct our attention to such complex traits of mental and ethical distinctions that mark a person, a group, or a nation, etc. Chapter 5 of the Holy Quran, Circle 7, should prove to be of particular ancillary use. I love this chapter. If these Moors were really practicing this, y'all wouldn't hear anything out of them contrary if they was really practicing this. Even not everybody who know how to say Prophet Noble Drew Ali name, even though that's not his real actual parents' name that his parents gave him, not everybody that knows that has any idea about any of this. They just say his name so they could get into the club or the group or whatever it is you guys think that you're doing when you're moving forward trying to profess that you're doing the work of the Prophet. I'm not going to name the clubs that are going around. I just had a woman call me and tell me about some, anyway, chapter 5. Number 1, the great feast of the Pas was ended and the Nazarenes were journeying towards their homes. 2, and they were in Samaria, and Mary said, "Where is my son? No one has seen the boy." 3, and Joseph sought among their kindred who were on their way to Galilee, but they had not seen him. Then Joseph, Mary, and a son of Zebedee returned and sought through all Jerusalem, but they could not find him. And Mary asked the guards, had they seen Yehoshua, a little boy about 12 years old? The guards replied, yes, he is in the temple now disputing with the doctors of the law. In our day and age, the doctors of the law are the pharmaceutical companies. They are practicing pharmakia, and they are taking our roots and our herbs and our sciences, and they are using our sciences to destroy us. That's what they're doing right now. They're mixing the molecules, they're making them pills, and then they send them to you. And the most common side effects are death, kidney failure, and whatever else common side effects there are. Yeah. Disputing with the doctors of the law. And they were in and found him as the guards had said. And Mary said, "Why, Jesus? Why do you treat your parents thus? Lo, we have sought 2 days for you. We fear that some great harm has overtaken you." And Jesus says, "Do you not know that I must be about my Father's work?" But he went round and pressed the hand of every doctor of the law and said, "I trust that we'll meet again." And then he went forth with his parents on their way to Nazareth. And when they reached their home, he wrought with Joseph as a carpenter. One day he was bringing forth the tools for work. He said, "The tools remind me of the ones we handle in the workshop of the mind, where things were made of thought and where we build up character. We use the square to measure all our lines, to straighten out the crooked places of the way, and to make the corners of our conduct square. We use the compass to draw circles around our passions and desires to keep them in the bounds of righteousness. We use the axe to cut away the knotty, useless, and ungainly parts and make character symmetrical. We use the hammer to drive home the truth and pound it in until it is a part of every part. We use the plane to smooth the rough, uneven surfaces of joint and block and board that go to build for the temple for the truth. The chisel, line, plummet, and saw all have their uses in the workshop of the mind. And then this ladder, with its trinity of steps, faith, hope, and love, on it we climb up to the dome of purity and life. And on the 12-step ladder we ascend until we reach the pinnacle, that which is life is spent, to build the temple of the perfected man. Woo, baby. That's what I'm talking about. The man who is perfected is the man who is able to unconditionally love, period. No matter what happens to them. For us, another thing that we can look at is this axe to cut away knotty and useless and ungainly parts. That includes your associations. The people that you are holding on to that have not just sat down and try to oblige you in what you're talking to them about. They're bad company corrupts good habit. Bad company corrupts good character as well. Disassociate yourself with those people. From those people. Disassociate yourself. You have to.
This door is crazy.
Hey, girl. Did I wake you up? Okay. Foreign Relations and Intercourse. 22 USC Chapter 2 Consular Courts subsections 141 to 143. We're on page 10. We got 2 more to go. Stay with me, family. Keep sharing. Keep commenting of this information. Currently and in this instance, and in our meeting, that is, I'm going to spell this out for you, and then you guys can put the definition in the comment section. MAJLIS. Majlis assembled. Help me understand what MAJLIS is. April 15th of 2017. We, the present members of the Order of the Great Seal, are deemed to act constructively concerning off neglect, diversity, acknowledgement issues. Some of these issues include, but are not limited to, the following. Awakening our nationally unconscious people to recognizing their responsibilities to their own nationality and bloodline. It's your responsibility. Nobody else's. Yours. B. Restoring the rightful operative dispensations and acknowledgements of proper sanguineous nationality cards of identification, distinguishing from the forced private for-profit feudal law corporate fee constructs. Among these are the misrepresented corporate privileged, driver's license, etc. These and other demo instruments have been falsely imposed upon the natural peoples of the land and are colorably guised as identification cards. Restoration of proper and lawful due process under organic constitution law principles and operations whenever an intersocial controversy or law issue arises. This is to be restored processes for standing on all peoples in the societies. First one, awakening our nationality. Moorish American Consulate is doing that. Consular Courts is doing that. We're waking people up to their nationality. We got people ranging from 15 all the way to 70 who are contacting us saying, thank you for waking me up. We love you. Thanks for being woke. We hope that you're walking alongside us when as we're building this government and this empire. What about these nationality ID cards? The Moorish American Consulate is preparing right now en masse to issue identification cards to the entire empire. Got that covered. Got that taken care of. We're not going to have all of these dirty Moors that keep on making their own versions of the card and then charging people $500 just for a card, and then they're not even getting their card in enough time to be able to do anything with, or they don't even hear from the people anymore. No more. I'm going to take a break for like 30 minutes. We're on page 11. We're at diversity. When I come back, we're going to finish this consular courts restoration up. Tyrone Lewis, me too, every day. And everything that I do, as I'm learning, I share what I'm learning with the people. I don't hoard the information, use it for my own private things that I got going on in my life, and then go to sleep. I want the entire empire, every national, to be edified and helped in whatever way, shape, and form they can be. Take initiative. I love y'all very much. Sign this, share it, do whatever you need to do. Link up. Find the people in your specific regions. Start contacting them concerning their specialized fields that they're operating in. Now, the Northeast region, we are in publication, in education, and nationality. We're nationalizing people every day. Sharon T. Gale is doing great work on that side of the coast. In the Central region, we're focused on putting your inheritance in trust. In the West Coast, everybody there is specializing in putting liens on the insurance companies to provide remedies for the Moors. And in the Southeast, in the UK, we're going to keep that one to ourselves. Love ya. Be back to you.